Right, I am back. So, if there's anybody still watching, do me a quick favour and go to 9ball.com on YouTube and check if it's working now. We're in rack number 2 here. Yes, it is. I thought it is. Yeah, I had to restart Gamecaster for that to work, so that's everything fixed now. Although what the hell went wrong with it, I haven't a clue. It didn't say anything was wrong. It suggested there was something wrong with Twitch, but Twitch has been working fine. So let's see what kind of player Plammy is. Now you could use the 6 ball as a stopper. He's trying to hide behind the 7. And that's not a bad effort. That is pretty damn good. That is a good shot. That's tight to that 7 ball. And this is what using your head's all about. See the shot and play it. And Larry has got the kick safe. Now, or at least I thought he had. Who the hell's playing here? Am I out of sync? I thought that was Plammy that played the safety there. Anyway, this is what happens when the concentration goes at this time of night. Well, I'm seeing Larry at the table with ball in hand. I don't know what happened. Danger's running into that 7 and he's managed to miss it. Nice little angle in the 6, but he has to keep this tight. Little punchy draw back here just to get the cue ball out. And that will do nicely. The problem now is Larry's dead straight in the 7 and he might only be able to roll this 8 ball in. Oh, that was dangerous. But all he can do is just roll the 8 in dead weight and cut that 9 into the left middle. Nothing else he could do. But he's been careful and he's going to get a 2-rack lead. Larry breaking off rack number 3. The 2 ball has gone. He has a shot in the 1. Now, provided he can avoid the traffic, he should have some sort of shot in the 3, and he's played that well. Although he's gone too far, I think he can still thin the 3, but he's going to have to ride his luck here. Yeah, he's run into the 8. And now he's out of shape. 5 ball is safe. And what's Larry going to do? Try and hide? Yes, he is. Well, that was almost a very good shot. But Plammy can see the 4. Now he can pot it. But he's going to have no shot in the 5 whatsoever. But he can play a decent safety if he can hold the cue ball. Well, he can certainly try and get this safe, but he's not got much room to manoeuvre here. That 8 ball's in the way. He's avoided the 8 ball, giving Larry not too easy. 5 ball. This is quite tough. Cue ball running away to the left is going to leave an awkward cut in the 6 if he gets this 5. That's a good shot in the 5. Needs another good one. He might have to go across the table twice here. Off the right side, left side, and back out. And he's played that well. Controlled the pace well. And he's got an angle here just to run with a bit of inside English. Not an awful lot, because you don't want to block himself behind the 9. In fact, I think he's just playing it plain ball to come out, leave himself high, and that will do. So Larry, quite comfortably so far, has romped into a 3-0 lead here. Now, is Plammy going to get any use of that 7 ball? Well, Larry's break, nothing doing. But look at this 7 ball. I just said, is he ever going to get any use for it? Well, there you go. A set 1 and 7 ball combo. And all of a sudden, the rack is over. Plammy's on the board and he's trailing by 2. That's how racks can change hands so quickly with the handicapping system. And Plammy's broke off in rack number 5. And, well, he's got a shot in the 1, ball in the break. The 5 ball's gone. He's on the 2, but he's going to have to get careful here with a draw shot to have any sight in this 3 ball. Well, he played the stun, and that was well played, and that is pretty nigh. Can you see the potting angle in that? Oh, it's just squeezed in, but where's the 4 ball gone? There's a result come through from the 1 loss side. Well, there's 2 results come through. Greg has beaten Gunnett 4-0. Meanwhile, Plammy's played the bank in the 4. He's still in business here. Now he needs to get lucky. He's got the cut in the 6. The cue ball's going to be running, but that 7 ball has got a limited amount of pockets it's going into, and he's going to end up into the middle if it slows down. And this has been a quick turnaround in this match already. Larry 3-0 up. Plammy gets a quick 1-7 combo in the last rack. And now he's ran out to the 7 ball in this rack. And it's back to 1. And now Plammy's turn for the dry break. Larry with no shot other than a safety, but he's not got cover. Plammy's overcut the 1 and scratched, and Larry, well, the balls are all there. It might have to be a 6-8 combo in that top right hand corner, but with ball in hand, Larry can plot his way up to that end of the table. He's going to have to do a bit of work from the 4 to the 5, because that 5 ball is not in an ideal place either. He has to get top side of the 5 if he's going to play it into the middle or play it long, and then he's got the problem of getting on the 6. So this isn't quite clear cut as it might look. Yeah, he's just got a wee bit of thinking to do here. Oh, now, what's Larry tried there? I don't know what he's tried. Did he try to leave that 5 ball in, squeeze it past the 8? Or did he try and get in the top side of the 5? Either way, it's gone awkward. He's played it off the rail and off the 8. And has he actually opened a pocket? No, he hasn't. Well, there's half a pocket there if he can... Well, he's played the combo instead. And needs that bounce. And of course, a reminder, Plammy just needs to get that 7 ball. Larry's got a tough cut in this 6, or he can play the bank. Cue ball's going to be running. Oh, he won 15-8. Well, in the end it was 10-7 when I checked it, so he's run out a comfortable winner in the end. And meanwhile, Larry has another awkward 7 ball. And surely he's going to have to run the cue ball here, unless he wants to play it dead weight. And he's hung it up, and that's the danger. But has he got cover? Yes, he has, but that's easy to kick in. Pick your spot in the rail, somewhere about there, and just catch the edge of that 7. Oh dear. Oh, that wasn't a great effort. What pocket is it? What's the settings in that tournament? Is it tight or narrow? What's the settings in this? I can't remember anymore. Hang on a minute. Table settings. They'll come up in a second. I think table settings in this is narrow. Yeah, narrow. So if the Masters tourney's anything tougher, it'll be set to tight, which is tough. That means that the balls will hang up even more in those corner pockets, and the middle pockets are really, really tough to cut anything into. Yeah, well, that's another problem as well. Yeah, you don't play 9 ball that much. Well, you can check the tournament. Go to the tournament bracket page for the Masters. Your result will be up in the lobby. If you just click on the link, it will take you to the tournament homepage. If you look at the table setup and the information, it will tell you if it's tight. So is it just narrow? If it's just narrow, it's the same as this. It's the same as the Friday night 9 ball. That's what used to be just tournament pockets in VP3. Well, these pockets don't have any give if you're punching balls in at pace and you set them offline. As soon as they hit that knuckle, they're not the pocket isn't going to give you anything. They're just going to rattle and hang up. Yeah, narrow's the norm for tournaments, for most tournaments anyway. Oh, Plammy trailing by 4 racks to 2. He's going to get another one back here in a minute. And once again, we have the makings of a match on here. Plammy breaking open rack number 8. It looks dry, but I think he's got Larry on a safe here. Larry blocked out by the 8. And Larry just looking to push out up in the far left hand corner. Now you can pot a ball when you push out. It isn't a foul. But of course, Larry has potted Plammy's money ball, and he's now locked himself out, and Plammy's put him back in. Yeah, good night. Take care. Stay safe. Well, this is a little roll through here for a 4-ball down the rail. Nothing to do with the cue ball. Just needs to get out from that 8-ball there. Doesn't want to hook himself. And Plammy, if he keeps his head here, is going to be all square. Just needs a 6 and 7 ball. And if he just drops a 6 in, that cue ball will come out for that 7 into the left middle. And we have a tied ball game here. 4 racks all, Plammy breaking. Looking for a ball. And rack number 9. And once again, I don't think he's got it. But, although Larry has a shot in the 1, there's a safety net there for Plammy in this rack. The 5 and 7 are locked up. So there's a bit of work to be done for both players in this rack. Nothing's clear cut. It's all going to hinge on opening up that 5 and 7. Now I don't know whether Larry is going to take any risk. It would be a bit crazy to try and break the 5 and 7 up here, especially with the 4 up the top end of the table. Now, that might be a possible combo. Look at that 5, 7 and 6. I would say that's a combo, almost. I think if you play it gentle enough, you'll give the 6 ball every chance to drop in. It looks pretty set to me. So Larry might not have to do anything if he gets there. But he's going to have to do something with this 4 ball. Now, he could run and hide here. He could cut the 4 to the 8 ball and get that cue ball right down in this bottom left hand corner. But he's decided to try and use the 8 ball at the top end, and that's not a bad effort. Now, well, there's certainly nothing really shown in the 4 ball, but Plammy should already have looked at that combo, and he's kicked bank to 4 in, and here's the combo on the 5, 7 and 6. Well, Larry thought he'd played a half decent safety there. I thought he had as well. But Plammy's picked out the kick and the bank on the 4. And the combo has worked. The cue ball's coming up. The 5 ball is on. And the 7 is on the right rail. And Plammy has a golden opportunity here to go into the lead. And that cue ball's going to have to just run. And that is perfect. Well, we could have another shock in our hands here, folks. A roll in on the 7. And Plammy is into the lead. Now, again, I think he's had a couple of dry breaks. Well, not this time. In rack number 10. The 2 ball, certainly one of the balls that's disappeared. As has the 6 and the 8. He's on the 1. And he's on the 3. And he should be able to get out onto that 4 without running into the 7. Needs to keep going. He's a wee bit short. He should be okay. Now, can he pot this 4? Good evening, Slim. Well, anything but straight on this 5, and I think he can pinch this with a bit of spin and get the cue ball over to the left on the side rail and down and not scratch. Commentator's curse. He's okay. And what a surprise here now. Plammy is going to go to the hill. I hope you're okay, Slim. I hope you and those that you know are all okay. Well, I've never seen this guy, but he's not a mug. That's one thing I can say. And he's got himself 6-4 in front. Well, we've got another 3 weeks of the lockdown, which was confirmed yesterday. Our first 3 weeks ended yesterday, and it's been extended again. So no change over here. We've got another 800 people died last night, or the last 24 hours. So there's no way that they can change anything over here. With another 54 in Scotland. And meanwhile, Larry has got big trouble with an open table and no shot in the 3, and he's going to have to run for cover. And Larry is at the point of no return in this. What match is this? It's a third round match, because he saw Plammy romp away with the last, what, 4 racks at least. Oh, that's a loose one. Plammy looking for cover behind the 4. He's left it 3 on, but look at where the 6 ball is. That 6 ball's tough. But Larry has his chance. Well, Larry's having a look at the 6. The problem with that is where the 5 is. You know, if you can get some sort of angle like this on the 5, then you can draw the cue ball to get the split. If you were going to have to play an accurate shot, you'd have to get the cue ball to sort of here to try and cut that 6 down into the pocket, but that is not giving you much room to manoeuvre. So we'll see what Larry does here. And he's overcooked that. He has overcooked it. Now, did he try to move the 6 there? It doesn't matter, because he's got himself in a heap of trouble. He's locked himself out on the 5, and he's just going to have to kick and hope. And that 5 ball needs to slow up. Well, Plammy has got a sight on the 5. I think he can see it. Well, he can. But the question is how's he going to deal with this 6 ball? I think the best he could hope for is to get the cue ball somewhere up the table to about there or there and play the bank on the 6. The 6 is off the rail. Well, he's trying to find that gap that I was talking about, and that is as good as you could expect. Let's have a look. That is perfect, and the cue ball's coming over to the left hand side as we look, and he's going to have a shot for the match. Oh dear, he's cut it. He's overcut it. Well, Larry breathes again, and the results are coming through here. John Boo has beaten Dirty Harry in the 1-loss side. Simanx has beaten Columbus in the 1-loss side. Keezer, I can't see the result for that one because my little timer is on the screen showing, but I presume Spectre Dawn won that. And Simanx has beaten Christian 4 racks to 1. So a pile of results have come through there. And meanwhile, Larry is trying to hang in the match here. He's looking pretty good for this rack. So Larry is going to have the break in rack number 12 and needs to get a ball and needs to get a shot. Well, something went into the left middle, I think, unless my eyes are deceiving me. Yes, my eyes are deceiving me. Nothing went into the pocket. I thought something went into the left middle, but quite clearly it didn't. And Plammy at the table on the 1. He's left it a bit short on that 2 ball, and he's just nudged it into the 3. And Larry, I think, is going to have to play the billiard here. I don't think that 2's going in. That's too tight. He's going to have to play the billiard from the 2 to the 3, and he's got the double kiss. And that's scuppered that shot. That's what he tried. He tried to billiard off the edge of the 2 onto the 3, but the double kiss just cleared the cue ball out of the way. Well, Plammy has got his chance to seal the match, but we can see where the problem ball lies. It's there. That 4 ball is going to be the issue, and the problem is he's let the cue ball run too far and he's blocked out. And Larry gets the kick but doesn't get any joy. Well, I don't. I've got the same excuse as you, Slim. I just don't have enough time, and I honestly don't have the energy nowadays. I'm so tired when I get home. Oh dear. Well, Plammy's blew that one, and this is Larry's chance to take it all the way. And I don't think he'll be making many mistakes here. The only way it can go wrong is on that 6 ball, and even then that's a big ask. Well, provided Larry doesn't do something silly, he should be okay, and we should be into a final rack. Now, this tournament's been on for, what, about an hour and 49 minutes now. In goes the 8. And the little slow roll on the 9. And Larry will have the break in the final rack. And it's the same most weeks in this tournament. Larry and Spectre Dawn are the 2 favourites for the tournament. But we've seen both these players over the time we've been streaming these Friday Night 9 balls. But even them, they can feel the wrath when they're playing somebody who they're giving a heavy handicap to. They've both been on the receiving end of them. Well, Larry on the 2. The problem is the 3. Now, what does he do here? Because the 2 ball's awkward. It's an awkward pot. But he can pot it and get off the left-hand rail and back out and try and get as straight as he can on the 3-4 combo. Or he can try and get up the table and get behind the 3. Well, that's what he's tried, but in doing that, he's missed the 2, and he's got lucky, has he? Let's have a look. No, he hasn't. Well, Plammy's got the same problem. Plammy's got a shot in the 2. Now, can he drop the cue ball across for a shot in the 3? What does that mean, Slim? This Plammy is pretty lucky. What's his alt? What does that mean? I don't know these abbreviations. Oh dear. Well, Plammy, I think your chance might have gone right there, mate. Larry, well, he's left himself a tricky 4 ball. Cue ball, I think, is going to run into the 6, but he should be on the 5. Might even brush the 9 here, looking at the potting angle in this 4. Yeah, he's brushed the 9. missed a 6. Well, this is the crunch one, getting good on the 6. Well, Larry has made a complete hash of that shot. That's his worst shot of the night, to get on that 6 ball. And Plammy, get your cue stick ready. You may well have a bank on here. Is Larry trying to tuck the 6 ball towards the 9? But he's left the bank. Let's see how close that is. That is a good bank. It's more or less on the middle diamond. Not quite, but it is a good bank. But he needs to get the cue ball out for the 8 ball. So here we go. No, he's decided against it. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, the nudging at 8, because I think that was tracking to the pocket. But Plammy's chance may well have come and gone. But Larry made a hash getting onto that 6. He really did. That went all pear-shaped as soon as he played it. And Larry, well, he's potted a 6, but look what he's left here in this 8 ball. This is thin. This is a Steve Davis 1985 black ball in the World Snooker Championship final cut here against Dennis Taylor. I sat up and watched that. 1985. That shows you how old I am. So effectively the 8 ball for the match. Well, Larry, I'll tell you something, he's used up 1 or 2 of his lives in this match. But he's got out of jail and he wins the final rack decider. And he beats Plammy by 7 racks to 6. Well, he'll certainly be breathing a sigh there. He definitely will. And he'll be thinking about how he played that 5 to the 6 on that rack. But he got away with it. Right, let's have a look. What's happening here? Larry, well, that's the match we're going to have to watch now. Larry's now going to be playing Spectre Dawn. The room is up. And I think this is the hot seat match, folks. This is to see, I think it is. Just give me 2 seconds. Yeah, this is a hot seat match to see who gets to the final. It's Vince Says, isn't it? I didn't see him in the bracket. Oh, is Vince Says playing Keith? Oh, well, there's the favourite for the tournament straight away. Vince Says, and Stubbs in it, I think. Right, the match is should be up and running. Well, nobody's in the room yet. Yeah, Vince Says was very impressive in that. What the hell tournament was it? Was it 10 ball? And what a final that turned out to be. If you haven't seen that final, get on to either my Twitch channel or YouTube and watch it. What a finish to that match. Well, Larry's in the room. Spectre Dawn. Oh, he's just arrived. Larry, I think, is nearest us. Yeah. And they're about to lag for the break. Larry on the right as we look. Spectre Dawn's ball hits the bottom rail. Larry has got the pace a bit better and he wins the lag. So here we are. And the tournament has, yeah, what's that? 8 o'clock. an hour and 55, so we're moving along at a reasonable pace. Mal will never play in it. I can't remember the last time Mal's played in one of these tournaments. It's been a few years. He has played in one in VP4, but I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 years ago. So this is the two favourites for the tournament tonight, both going head to head to see who gets to the final. Spectre Dawn at the table, not in good shape in the 3. He's got a nasty cutback, but I don't know whether he could actually see enough of that ball there to make the potting angle. Well, Larry has an angle on this 3 now. He can go around the corner on the left hand side behind the 5 and 7 and come out for the 4. He might try drawing away from the 3 to avoid that. Yes, he has done. But now that he's potting the 4 into the right middle, the problem with that is he's running up the table, and he might be quite close to this 6 ball here. Yeah, he's just avoided it. Well, it could be Larry's year. Well, I think Larry thinks that every year. But this is the tournament that Larry's got his best chance in 9 ball. Yeah, I'd be quite happy to see Larry win one of these things, but I've been looking at it for 20 years, and he's been on the brink on a few occasions and hasn't quite got the job done. And the years are catching up with him, no matter whether he admits it or not. Well, Larry's too old now to change his ways. I keep saying it, he sticks his neck out a bit too far from time to time. And, well, he's paid the price on numerous occasions for it, but he's also been in a fair few exciting matches because of it as well. I remember watching, I don't know whether it was Larry against Allenville or whoever, I can't remember. I wish I was streaming back in the day. I would have had that from VP3, but that was the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. I think went to a final rack decider. But that's when it was a decent run to get to. I think the matches then I had it set to a race to 41 in the final, and I think that went all the way. That match was about, what, about 3.5 hours. A proper distance for a championship. None of this race to 15 crap. I mean, I had to laugh when I see Shooters Pools doing a World Snooker Championship and it's a race to 2. I would never ever play in a tournament that is a championship that is a race to 2 in snooker. No way. No way at all. But then again, on the other side of the coin, everybody thinks I've got a chance. So it's probably good thinking if it's just a case of getting money in the till. But everybody's got their preferences. I like tournament matches to be a tournament distance. Always have done. Especially if you're rating it as a championship. I presume the final will be a race to 5 or something like that. I don't know, I never looked, but well, Larry is off and running. First rack on the board. We've now got a wee bit of safety going on here. Now, is Spectre done? Well, I thought he might have been brave enough. Larry might be brave enough here, because there's a safety crying out behind that 8 and 9, and Larry's got the perfect angle perfect angle to run that cue ball around the corner up the top end, and he's short by about 2 feet. But that was a perfect line to drop that cue ball right behind the 8 and 9. I had a break of 62 first visit. I was playing myself in a couple of frames of snooker online the other morning or whenever it was, and I came to the table after my other self broke off, and first visit had a break of 62, and then when my other self got to the table, his visit was a break of 44, so I can still pot a ball. Absolutely no pressure on though against myself. I'm brilliant against myself, so I am. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn has got himself the chance to square the match. One. How many people are still watching this stream? I think there's only Slim and Potman there. Nobody else is typing anything. I've probably got my maximum for the night, about 3 viewers, as usual. Well, Spectre Dawn out with the jump stick. 6 on YouTube, that must be a record. Well, he got the jump and almost potted a 1, but he's got second prize, I think, here. That looks pretty good. That is nasty. He's got Larry in trouble here, admittedly with a bit of luck, but Larry is in a spot of trouble. He ain't getting out of that one. Well, he's trying to jump, but can he jump the 4 and not foul it? Yes, he can. And he can pot the 1. Well, I never thought it was on. Shows you how much I know. That was a good jump, avoiding that 4 ball. Needs another good one on the 2. This cue ball will run up to the 7 here with the potting angle, but that's fine. And he's come out, and Larry now expecting to be 2 racks to 1 up. He's a bit straight in this 3 though. He might just roll it in and leave the 4 long. Yep, you've got to play the sensible shot when it's required and not try and do things with the cue ball that you don't need to do. And Larry's got a nice little angle to run through, and that's perfect. Now's the crucial shot. Again, the angle in this 5 ball, he needs to watch the scratch. Now he might stun up the table on the left for the 6 past the 7. That looks like the safer option. No, he's trying to be cute, and it's all gone pear-shaped. I thought he might have tried to just stun up the left-hand side there and take out the right middle pocket for the scratch. But he's tried to get clever, and he's left himself extremely awkward on this 6 ball. And he should have been out here. He's still got a chance to be out, but my God, he's good at leaving himself in trouble. And he's managed to get the 6. Well, is he going to play the little draw, or is he going to play the little run through? Good evening, Simanx. I've got to ask you a question. Who the hell was it he was playing in that match that was streamed? Was it Spectre Dawn, wasn't it? Well, why early in the match were you banging balls about, potting balls and not thinking about position? And then, when you had a chance, you managed to play sensible in the match late on. Now, everybody should know me. I say it as I see it. For the first 4 or 5 racks in that match, you played like a numpty. You played like you play most times in this tournament, banging balls about the place and hoping to get lucky with the money ball handicap. I've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Where the hell did that pop up from? Oh, that must be the amount of messages you guys are typing in the chat. Oh, I must have got a reward for that. Well, if you play with a bit more common sense and thought in your game, I think you'll get on a lot better than bloody well banging balls half the time. And always remember, if you don't have a good pot, then make sure your opponent doesn't after your visit. Just play with common sense approach. Because when you had the chances, you started to play a lot more sensibly. And it looked 10 times better than what we saw early on. Anybody here will tell you that if they watched it. I play with my own expression. Right. Right. Oh, there's a result through. Keyser has beaten Greg in the one-loss side in the final rack decider. 4 racks to 3. Well, that's a good shot by Larry. But he's got no luck again. Now, once again, he's going to have to either go all out for... Well, he can't, because he can't see enough of it to bank it. He's going to have to feather this thin and get distance. Miss the knuckle. Oh dear. Well, Larry has the lead at the moment. Spectre Dawn having a look at the table, having a look at the lay of the balls, and just looking to get the gap and get onto this 3 ball. And he should be out. Well, if you're getting firm nipples when you're playing in a tournament, then I think you're doing a lot more than just playing Virtual Pool 4. That's all I'm going to say. Well, here's a crucial one. Getting good on the 5, and he's overcooked it by a fair distance. That's the example that I talk about. Like where the 9 ball, where that 5 ball is where the 9 ball sometimes is. And if you finish in the top side of it, you're in trouble. And Spectre Dawn has blown his chance by getting out of shape in the 5. He's missed the kick, and Larry has got a chance to give himself a wee bit of breathing space here. With ball in hand. Stun over behind the 6. And leave an angle on that 8 ball. Oh dear, what's Larry trying to do here? Goodness me. And that is another poor shot by Larry. He's overhit that by a mile. And way out of line in the 6. And just making himself more trouble. But he's managed to... again, dig himself out a hole. Nothing to do here other than pot the 8. The cue ball's coming up the left-hand side. And Larry has got his 2-rack lead. Now, is he going to ram home that advantage in rack number 5? He needs a break and a ball and a shot. Well, he's got the break, he's got the ball. And if that cue ball slows up, he's got the shot in the 1. Now, the angle on that 1 ball is squirting the cue ball away. Larry's going to... is he going to try and just hold this cue ball? I don't know whether he can hold it and leave a good angle in the 2. We'll soon find out. Yeah, he's just trying to kill it as much as he can to stop the cue ball squirting away. Well, This is a problem because he's looking to get behind there and somehow avoid the traffic to get down to the 3. Big stun with a bit of help in English here, I think. Yep. Looks like it. And that looks good. If it bounces, it just needs to bounce. Now here's the other problem. Perfect angle in the 3 to run off the rail and out. Now anywhere there and he's got the cut. If he overcooks it, he's blocked out by the 5. That's the problem he has to avoid. Well, he's trying to get down the right hand side. Oh, he's managed to just brush off the knuckle. But once again, he's overcooked it. And he's way off the mark here with this. This is a thin cut. Well, Larry just keeps giving himself more and more hard work to do. And in goes the 4. And this time, he's controlled the pace well. Well, I know the shot I would want to play. Looking at it from this end of the table, I would just want to stun that in and get the cue ball up here somewhere for a shot in the 6. He might just try and drop in here and play the 6 there. I don't know, but I'm tended to want to get up the table. And that's what Larry's doing this time. But he's run into the 6. And again, he's finding ways to get himself in bother. And he's got yet another tough ball to keep himself at the table, and sooner or later he's going to run out. He's going to run out of shots. But once again, he's dug himself out a hole, and he looks as if he's going to do what was required. He wanted a ball in the break, and he wanted a shot on the next ball. And he wanted to run out the rack. Well, he's got there one way or another. He's eventually won the rack, but he's now extended his lead to 4 racks to 1. But I think there's a lot more in this match yet. I think Spectre Dawn may well have to play his part in it. Well, there's no doubt in Larry's determination, but he's just finding ways to get himself in bother. So far, he's managed to recover, but what he doesn't want to be doing is battling all the way to the final and then finding that all of that hard work goes out the window. Like I say, sooner or later, you're going to run out of recovery shots, and Larry's used most of them in this match so far. And meanwhile, he couldn't hit the 1. Spectre Dawn has got ball in hand, and Larry's going to be buried in a minute. Now, how tight is that? Well, that's not good enough, because that's an easy hit for Larry. That cue ball should have been nailed to the 5. But Larry has played the kick, and he's got it safe. And likewise, Spectre Dawn has played not a bad effort. But Larry's going to cut this. And, well, I think he's going to have to put a bit of help in English on this as well, to try and somehow go over to the right-hand side. I don't know whether he can... The angle he's got, he can't hold on the left-hand side. He's got to let this run right up the table to the far right-hand corner. Well, no, he's decided he went for the bank. And he's, well, tell a lie, I'm going to give him his due there. He's played to tuck that cue ball behind the 5, and this time he has got it with great success. That's where Spectre Dawn should have had that cue ball. Well, Larry's got his reward. He's got ball in hand, but can he do anything with it? Doesn't look like it. He can't get that cue ball in there to make any pot in the one, so Larry's going to try and get this as awkward as he can while he's looking for the combo. Is it going to be worthwhile? Oh, here he's going to dig in, spin with bottom right to get out, and he's missed a one, and that is a bad miss. That was not a difficult one ball. So what you're saying there, Slim, is you're prostituting yourself for the sake of your fellow Virtual Pool 4 players to help them in the tournament. Inspector Don at the table, but he's got a tough 4 ball and he's going to have a tough cut in the 5. Well, I'm sure you've got the body for it, Slim. Hence the name, One Pocket Slim. Well, he's managed to cheat the pocket enough to get the 5 in. And now it's just featherweight touch on this 6 ball. And he's found the gap. And that's well played. Oh, I didn't know you were playing semi-pro. Well, good luck, Pot Man. You're going to get chances. No, it's this tournament's 2 hours 20 minutes. That's a good bank. So Spectre Don with this 9 ball to get himself partially back into this match. Trailing by 4-2 with the break. And I didn't see anything go that time. And Larry comes to the table. Well, this 1 ball isn't a problem. I think Larry's going to try and stun into the 4. Yeah, that's a good shot. That holds him for a shot in the 2. Little gentle roll in the 2 just to stop the cue ball squirting away. He's playing a little draggy shot, but the same result. He's kept the cue ball up there. Now, again, does he play the sensible shot and just leave the long 4? Because if he can run through, the 4 goes past the 6. And provided he can run through, let's have a look from this end. Yeah, this is tricky. He needs to make sure he goes through far enough. He's going to have to... Well, is he going to draw it to play the 5 down into that pocket? Looks like it. Yeah. He's just trying to... Well, he's hung up the 4 again. And that's the problem with these pockets. We see it week after week. Yeah, good luck, Pot Man. You're going to need it. You need to play with common sense. Inspector Don, as I said earlier, may well have something still to say in this match, trailing by 4 racks to 1. And with a gilt edge opportunity to get it back to within 1. A little bit of inside left there. the spin off that top rail, just going back to the left to leave him a wide open shot in the 8. Nine ball off the rail shouldn't be a problem. So we're now into rack number 8. We've got Spectre Dawn breaking off, trailing by 1 in a race to 7 for the hot seat for tonight's final. Where's the cue ball going? And it's found its way into the pocket. Well, Larry is going to pounce on that opportunity. Spectre Dawn has come up dry with a break, but the cue ball had just had enough pace on it to run into that top right hand corner, and it gives Larry ball in hand, and he'll want to take full advantage of this. But the doubts are there. Can Larry find his way out in this rack? There's no reason he shouldn't, but can he find a way out where he doesn't get himself in trouble? Well, we're about to see if he can. And I honestly can't see where the problem is here. The only problem is not getting a good angle in that 5. That's the one that you'd be more concerned about. And the 5's wide open, but you've got to get a good angle on it to make sure you avoid running into stuff to get over for the 6. Well, he's gone cast iron straight on this 5. And he's just going to draw into an open space here. Well, nothing to do here other than just stop the cue ball and roll the 7 in. And again, roll the 7 in. Now, he needs to roll far enough if he's getting a good angle on the 8 just to drop onto the 9. So he's just got to be careful again. Let's have a look. I think that's pretty good. Yep, just a simple roll through. So Larry, well, an unexpected opportunity there. Spectre Dawn breaking off. Dry break, but cue ball just trickled into the top right hand corner. Table wide open, and Larry comfortably runs out the rack in the end and gets back to a 2-rack lead. Breaks off in rack number 9. And, well, what went? The 8 ball has gone, and he couldn't be any worse position to play a shot in this one than cueing right over the 9. The Chinese snooker, and that makes it so difficult to keep that cue in line and line up that pot on the 1. It's really, really difficult. And he's hung the 1. And once again, looking at this table, where is the problem for Spectre Dawn? Well, the problem ball is probably that 4 ball. It's the only one that's in a slightly awkward place. So, if Spectre Dawn is going to pot the 4, it has to squeeze past the 6, which it does. Now, has he gone far enough brushing off that 7? He's just got there, but it's tight. But it will go in off the jaw, no problem. He's got a wee bit more room to work with here than he maybe thinks. And he's played that well. But has it gone straight? Well, he could just roll it down the cush. And that's well played. Maybe just a tad too far, but for comfort's sake, but oh dear, he hasn't got into that enough. Well, Spectre Dawn's now the one finding ways to get himself in trouble. It's either the reverse bank or nothing at all. Is he looking at the thin cut? Well, that is thin. Yeah. That is, well, it looks even worse from that angle. That was, I don't think that was ever on. And he's scratched. And it's a gift again for Larry. I don't know why he didn't bank that, because that was far too tough to try and catch the edge of that 9. And that's a gift for Larry, and more importantly, that could be a crucial choice of shot there for Spectre Dawn. The more important thing is Larry's on the hill. And, well, he's getting that little bit of assistance that you sometimes need. And Spectre Dawn is now at the point of no return. Larry gets a ball in the break, but gets no shot in the 1. Pushes out to the side rail. And, well, all these balls are there. There's nothing in any awkward position here. It's all about that 1 ball. Spectre Dawn's made the choice and went for it. And he's hung it up. How's Larry looking? Well, Larry can get to the 1. Just needs a little bit of spin on the cue ball as well, maybe to try and get across and out. Yeah, he's went for the draw, but he's, oh dear me, Larry's been into the spinach too much. Almost scratched, and now he's again left himself with a heap of trouble with this cut in the 3. And surely he's going to run into the 8 ball here. He's going to hit something, surely. Yeah, he's missed the pot. He also missed the 8 ball. But has he got away with it? I think Larry has. I think Larry has got lucky. He certainly has done. Oh, I forgot about my webcam. I put that off to read the chat earlier on. Forgot all about it. That's a good shot. That is a very good shot by Spectre Dawn. And immediately, Larry has now got the pressure on, because he's going to struggle to use any angle off that right side. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to put English on it to try and. He's putting right English to straighten the cue ball off that side rail to come across for the 3. And he's played it well. How's his luck? None this time. Well, I haven't been on because I've been... well, I'll tell you why I haven't been on. I'll probably not do many Friday night 9 balls now at this time of year, because there's a few reasons why. First of all, the tournament starts at 7 o'clock during the winter months in GMT, and when the clocks go forward, the tournament's obviously starting at 8 o'clock my time, which the hours that I'm working right now, that's far too late for me. Even 7 o'clock, I don't always get all a Friday night 9 ball in, because I get really tired. And with the tournament starting at 8 o'clock now, and with me being up at 3:30 in the morning every morning for work, it ain't going to happen, I'm afraid. There's no way I can stay up that late and get 4 hours sleep and go to work. It is not a good combination. That's I don't get enough sleep right now anyway, but I certainly can't survive in 4 hours sleep. Well, Spectre Dawn survives and wins another rack, back to within 2. Breaks off in rack number 11. And I don't think he's got anything, but he's left Larry nothing. Cue ball locked up in the 5. just to push out. Now, of course, the danger of the push out here is if Larry leaves Spectre Dawn a sight in the 1, chances are he's going to go for the 1-8 combo. So Larry's got to be careful here. Well, he's brought the cue ball out into the opening. I don't think there'll be any prizes for guessing. Spectre Dawn will either try and play the billiard off the 1 onto the 8. That's run the cue ball off the right hand side of the 1 and run onto the 8 ball and pot it, or cut the 1 onto the 8. He has a choice as how he does this. He can play either shot. He's played the cut, and well, it did everything but go in. It wiped his feet twice, and the 1 hit it twice, and the 8 ball still didn't go. So Larry at the table and has his chance to get to the hot seat. And again, the simple shot is just a straight roll through on this 2 ball. Roll through far enough that he can run that 3 into the left middle past the 4 ball. That is a straightforward and obvious shot you would play. Now he needs to go far enough. The reason I'm saying that is he doesn't want to be the wrong side of the 3, which he is. He needed to be here. That's where he wanted to be, and he's 4 inches short, so now he's running into the 5. And things can go wrong. Well, he's managed to just kill the pace enough to leave himself the cut in the 4, but he's out of line here now. He's going to have to cut the 4 and try and hope that he gets either between the gap in the 6 and 7 on the right hand side. And he's overcooked it again. He's going to be hooked. Well, Larry, how many times tonight are we going to see you get yourself in trouble? It was always going to be in trouble when he got on the wrong side of the 3. And now he's going to have to kick and hope. Well, that's got him out of trouble, but he's not left it safe. But Spectre Dawn is under pressure here. He's got the cut back in the 5. Cue ball may well run into the 9, but it is a tough cut. So easy to cut this to the right rail and leave it hanging. And that's exactly what he's done. And this time, well, Larry has got to get himself out into the table. It's anywhere here for a pot in the 6. That's all he needs to do. Well, he's playing a draw. Same thing. And this time he can run through onto the side rail and then roll that 7 down past the 9. Or does he want to run through and come right around the table? I don't know what he's doing here, but it looks something similar. Right, there's somebody I don't know who's sending me a PM. I'm not going to open it. He's done it again. I'm going to shut it down again. Somebody PM that guy, whoever he was, and tell him I'm busy. Because I'm not going to start opening chat and talking while I'm on stream. Well, Larry has got himself to the hot seat, albeit with a few shaky shots, but he's managed to get himself through. And he beat Spectre Dawn 7 racks to 4. And I'm going to have a quick look at the bracket. Where are we? What's happening in the matches here? Right, somebody's still in the Larry Spectre Dawn match. Popman's playing semi-pro. WizKid is playing Snakes in that 9-ball brawl. And I think Larry's going to have to wait. Now, is that... is this the only match that's left? Give me 2 seconds, guys. What was that guy's name again? Where's that? To see the players. What the hell was his name? Something weird. He had a sort of double barrel name. Aye, that one there, this guy from Turkey. I don't know whether he speaks English, but I don't know what he was PMing me for. I don't know who he is, and anyway. Can one of you guys do me a favour if you're still there? Have a look at the bracket and tell me how many matches are left in the one loss side, because Spectre Dawn is playing Simanx, and is this the semi-final? And as Simanx, he's in the room, so just waiting for Spectre Dawn arriving. Don't know how many matches are left. Larry's in the final, so this might be the semi-final. So there's just the 2 matches left. That's good. Thanks for that. Well, Spectre Dawn is going to find going to be giving Simanx a fair handicap. Let's get into the room if we can. Now, is Simanx going to play with a bit of sense here? He's getting 7 and out, which is a generous handicap. It's only a race to 4 though. And Spectre Dawn has broke off. We've lost the 2, we've lost the 4, and he's got a shot in the 1 in this rack. Isn't quite over because the 6 ball is locked up to the 8, and that is, well, it's not quite locked up. I mean, in theory, you could get behind it, but he's tried to get a break out there. He's took a risk in doing that because look at the shape that he's left in the 5. He's got absolutely no great shape to get onto that 6. He's going to have to do big work with the cue ball. He might only be left with playing a safety here on this 6, trying to lock Simanx out. Yeah, that's just asking too much. And Simanx has got the same problem. Can pot the 5. And now, is it the old crash bang wallop and hope here? And it's not really a great position to try and play a decent safety off. It's really, really tough. I would just give it a belt and hope. Unless he tries to just skim behind the 6. Yeah, he's giving it the old heave-ho. No joy. That needs to keep running. It looks pretty good. It's gone a wee bit straight though. Just a wee bit. And he's just trying to follow it through with a bit of spin. And that's got the cue ball out. Now the angle that he's got here looks to be that he can drop behind the 9 or go forward with inside right English, which he's done there just to check the cue ball. And so Spectre Dawn is off and running. Just a short race to 4. And the 7 ball goes in. Well, I think that nudge there by the 6 ball against the cue ball onto the 9 ball has done him a favour. It's opened up and left him a shot in the 1. Or has it? Yes, it has. But look what he's done with the cue ball. He's going to have to. Well, I don't think he can even kick bank that because he can't get to the angle. And all of a sudden, oh, the double kiss. Now, can he see enough of it to cut the 2? Looks like he's banking it. Yeah. And that was a good shot. He's just managed to squeeze past the 4. Well, there's trouble ahead here. If he can't get as straight as he can in the 4, well, he's way out now. Look where the 5 ball is. 5 ball's hidden behind a 9. And this is it. This is really, really tough. The best that he could do is come across here and leave the cut in the 5 if he had a cue ball over here, but it's a big, big high cut. Well, he's played it with a lot of inside. That's a cracking shot. Inside right to check it right across the table. And that is a excellent shot. And judged the pace well as well. And now he's in prime position for 2-0. That was a really, really tough shot. They either go in and you get pretty good like that, or it just goes haywire. Well, he's left himself square in the 9. Now again, he could play the bank, or he can play the cut, but it's a tester. And it goes. Where's the cue ball going though? Oh dear. Well, that's a disaster. From triumph to disaster with that shot, that other shot that he played, to scratching on the 9. And it's a gift for Simanx, and it's, well, we know how the handicap plays a big part in this, but with a race to 4 and scratching on the 9, it's a gift for Simanx. And what's more, he's broke off a couple of balls in the break. Not great shape in the 1. It's a tight, thin cut in this 1 ball, and he's not risking it. So the pressure is on Spectre Dawn. Oh dear, it's going from bad to worse here now. Well, that 1 ball, if it was off the rail, Simanx could have went for the 1-9 combo. He's got ball in hand. And again, played that with far too much power, and he's got lucky. Albeit he's got no easy shot in the 3. But now, if he rolls the 5 in, he's going to have a shot in the 6. He probably can't avoid hitting the 9. And he needs a bit of luck. Now the danger here is if he goes with lots of top, he'll run through and scratch off the 9. And the run through has avoided that. But look where he is in the 7. But this 7 ball for a 2-1 lead. And he's overcut it. And it's going to be over the pocket. And his chance has gone as quick as it came. So Spectre Dawn's the one that breathes a sigh of relief. But he's going to be having the 1 frame lead, or the 1 rack lead, I should say. Tournament has now been on for 2 hours and almost 2 hours and 45 minutes. Most of the spectators have gone to their beds. But Spectre Dawn's break-off has come up dry again. Oh dear, that's a bad one. It's all about just slowing the game down and concentrating on what you're doing. And I am choking for another cup of coffee here. Somebody put the kettle on. Well, I don't think that was in the plan. He's just going to have to play a safety, and that is not the best, because It's not difficult to kick the 3, and there's a strong chance the 3 might go in here. And that is well played. That was very well played, that bank. Or that kick bank on the 3. No joy in the 4 though. Could have hoped for a better position. He's miscued. And again, he's set it up for Spectre Dawn. And you just can't afford to make these unforced errors. Not in such a short race. Well, at the moment, it's looking very likely that Spectre Dawn is going to get a second bite at the cherry and get a chance for revenge against the guy that put him to the one loss side. Larry sitting there waiting in the final. Now, there's a new viewer. Smarts. How did you find the channel, if you don't mind me asking? Spectre Dawn with now a 3 racks to 1 lead. And it's only the race to 4. But absolutely no joy with position off the break. Just to push out. Well, the push out has left in VP4 online. What the... Somebody post a link in the lobby chat. I posted one earlier on tonight, but that was 2 3/4 hours ago. Well, Simanx at the table, and again, and he's trying to thin cut the 4, and that might be sayonara. Simanx, Spectre Dawn, just tidying up what's left here to take him through to tonight's final, which should be a race to 9. It normally is. And it's definitely going to be Spectre Dawn for revenge against Larry in this week's final. Oh, there we go. Right, so here we are. Larry against Spectre Dawn. The room is up. And we're just going to be waiting on both players arriving. Right, well, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to be gone for a couple of minutes. I will leave you for the start of the match if I don't arrive back. And I should be with you in a couple of seconds. I'll just leave the stream on. I'm not going to go and block off the stream. I'll just leave it on for you. Back in a minute. Right, I'm back just in time. So Larry and Spectre Dawn breaking off in tonight's Friday night 9-ball, and it's a race to 9, and it's a scratch match, no handicap been given, and Spectre Dawn to break off. And so Spectre Dawn is getting his second bite at Larry tonight. Larry put Spectre Dawn over to the one-loss side earlier in the tournament. And can he come through, and can Larry sustain this way he's been going so far tonight and getting himself in trouble and getting himself out of trouble? Is he going to run out of luck? Well, we're about to find out. He might not have a lot to say in this first rack though, because Spectre Dawn, well, looks as if he can play the draw here off the 5. Well, he's gone forward, and that's always dangerous, because when you're over to that right hand side, sometimes that right middle pocket just jumps out and bites you. But he's got away with it. Oh, that's almost hooked himself. He's okay. But if you just start getting loose with the cue ball, you can always find ways to run yourself into bother. Larry's been doing that in big chunks of the match I've seen so far tonight, watching him. But anyway, it's Spectre Dawn who has got himself off and running. Leads by 1 rack to 0. Breaks off in rack number 2 and gets nothing. Larry can look to try and drop in behind that 4 ball. That's one option he has with the cue ball. Bank the one up the table. That's what he's looking to do. Oh, I don't think he's going to be too happy, because I think Spectre Dawn will fancy jumping that and cutting the 1. He hasn't got it tight enough. Yep, out with the jump stick. And in goes the 1. How's the luck? That looks pretty good to me. Little kiss there has brought him around the corner and out for the 2. And it's going to have to be the 3-5 combo. Again, when you're left with that type of shot, this 3-5 combo, you've got absolutely no choice other than to play it. The problem is where the 3 ball's going to end up. He hasn't a clue where that's going to finish. So he's just given it a bang to try and keep the 3 in the open. He's got away with it, but look at where the 7 ball's gone. 7 ball is now pretty much tying up the 4. And Spectre Dawn, I think, tried to get some action into the cue ball there to disturb something. And I don't know whether he can see enough of that 4 to play the bank. He obviously can't. And so just looking for the safety. But I think Larry won't need much encouragement to play the bank. That looks a dead set to me. That's a bank every day of the week. The problem being, though, he's going to have to work the cue ball big time if he's going to try and get on the 6. And I'm talking serious big time. And that's why he decided he's not going to try it. But he's played a weak one. Well, this is tough though. Full concentration on the 4 ball. As long as the cue balls get top on it, he's going to be up the top end of the table somewhere. Well, he's went for it in the middle, took a risk, and lo and behold, he's brought the 6 out. He's got a shot. And the 7 and 8 are now freed up. Is he going for the middle again? Looks like it. No. Oh dear, this is going to end up ugly. And finally, he's found a way to get himself in serious bother. No shot in the 7, but he can play an easy roll through. As long as he gets the pace of the rail, he could lock Larry up behind the 8, but he's going for it all out. Is that going to hang in there? No, it isn't. Cut it to the rail too soon. Well, he could have played the much easier safety, but went all out for the pot. This is what I say about people just sticking their neck out a bit too much to try and just keep themselves at the table, when the much more sensible safety shot would have been the one to play. That's the one I would have played. But the only thing with that shot is you just have to be confident enough to get enough pace to roll that 7 ball to the top rail, because you've obviously got to hit the rail, but the safety right behind the 8 ball there was the dead cert shot to play, and it's cost him the rack. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, Larry's the worst for it. Larry, I've watched him God knows how many times, and Larry, if the pot's on, he's pretty much going for it, even though it's difficult, and even though he'd a much more sensible safety shot to play. That was a perfect example there, and it cost him the rack because of it. But Larry will just never change his ways. And Spectre Don's got the same disease. But we are all square. Well, Larry off and running in this rack, and I'm looking at the table and I'm thinking, well, where is the problem? You can only run yourself into a problem. He's got a perfect angle on this 3 just to stun it in and drop between the 4 and the 6. It looks like it. Just brushes onto the 4 now. As long as you get some sort of angle, that'll do it. He can get the cue ball out. He can go far enough up past the 9 here if he wants. He's still going to have the 5, no problem. He needs to give himself plenty of room, and he's got lots of room to work with. Well, he's gone the narrower route, and that's left himself an angle to drop behind the 6 into the same pocket if he wants. He has to play this a bit more accurately though, if he's going to do that. And he's checked it inside so that he straightened the cue ball back up. So he played the sensible shot. The other shot was more risky in actually getting the pace right. And again, it's like a broken record. The sensible shot, just drop the 8 in, make sure you're off the rail and roll the 9 into the middle. That's all you do. So it's now 2-1. Winner breaks off. Looking for a ball, and he's got a ball. Now, has he got a shot? Yes, he has. He's got a shot in the 1, and the angle that he's got in the 1 will be perfect to just bring the cue ball up the table. The problem with the 2 is it's very tight on that 5. He wants to be here. That way he knows he can pot the 2 clean. And that looks good pace. That is not bad. That's pretty nigh where you want to be. That was a very good shot there. That's about the only position that's good that you can put the 2 clean without risking fouling that 5 ball. Now these punchy 3 balls can rattle. He's got to be careful. And he played at a more gentle pace. Now with this shot, it's straight through with the cue ball off the end rail and back up the table with plenty of room to leave yourself high on this 5, not short. Well, he wanted to come down another couple of inches for real comfort, but he's okay. He can just check it a wee bit if he wants and just stop the cue ball squirting away. Well, the idea with this next shot is that he doesn't leave himself an angle in this 8 where he has to hit the 9. He doesn't want to be doing that. It needs to keep rolling. It needs to keep going. Let's have a look. Well, he's fine. That is perfect. Any high angle in that 8 ball would have caused him to pot the 8 but run into the 9 and then not knowing really where it's going. So he avoided that, and he's now got himself that little safety net. He's got the 2 rack gap, and once again still with a break in rack number 5, and I don't think he's had any joy this time. Nothing doing, but he hasn't left Spectre on anything. Oh, if you saw some of the shots he was playing earlier on, Slim, he was just getting himself out of shape at the wrong time. But I'll give Larry his due. Every time he's got himself in trouble, he's got himself out of it. He hasn't. I don't think he's failed once tonight in what I've seen. But he's been finding ways to land himself in bother on quite a few occasions. But he's always rescued it tonight. Well, that's ended up good. Plenty of room for Larry to jump the 3 and try and get the pot in the 2. Well, he's managed to escape and hit the 2. Oh, that might have ended up nasty. Let's have a look and see how tight that is. Oh no, he can get past it and he can see the 2, and if he plays this gentle enough, he can leave Larry in bother behind the 9. Well, he's run through. Well, he's got the second prize. Managed to get behind the 5. Oh, and that was a good shot by Larry. That's worked out pretty much as planned there. 2 balls gone safe right along the bottom rail. Oh, that's a bit loose. That's come out a bit more than he thought. And Larry has got a chance. Now, can he somehow get out and get up the table to give himself a sight in this 3, because it's blocked off by the 6, so he's got to get on the top end of that 3 ball. And as long as he doesn't hook himself, well, I think he's partially hooked. Yeah. Let's have a look from behind the shot and see how well that looks. Well, yeah, he can only see an edge of the 3, and he's looking to skim it and drop up the top end of the table by the 5 and the 8. Really skim it as thin as he can. And that looks good to me. Oh, that's straight out the 9ball.com Tactical Genius safety manual. That will do me very nicely. Well, it's easy enough to jump the 5, which Spectre Dawn is going to be doing. But is he going to go all out and try and cut this 3? Oh, what a shot. That is a fantastic jump shot. Not only that, but to pot that 3 from that side of the table at that angle and with a pretty well controlled pace is an excellent shot. That was all or nothing with that shot there. Well, he who dares wins. And he should be home and dry in this rack. Well, we've now gone beyond the 3 hours, which isn't that bad. We've had 2 or 3 Friday night 9 balls over the 4 hours. Mind you, that's with a full field though. Full field of 16. So we're going not too bad. This should be probably about 3 hours and 45 minutes this tournament this week. So Spectre Dawn back to within 1 at the table and with the balls at his mercy. The problem ball is the 5 ball in that top rail. Now, just trying to drop right down onto the 5, and it's off the rail. And now the crucial shot, getting the draw up the table, past that right middle pocket. Well, he's leaving it at distance. And so we are going to be back all square. 3 racks all. Oh, and the commentator's curse has done it again. He's hung up the 9 and it's a gift for Larry. And that's how mistakes happen. Left himself the higher cut in the 9. And Larry breaks off. Got a couple of balls in the break, I think. Well, certainly 1. 3 ball has gone, and the 1 goes past the 5 and 6. And, well, can he avoid? I think he can stun onto the rail with maybe a bit of draw. And just avoid the middle pocket, which he has done. Needs to brush off the 2, and he's landed nowhere. And it's all gone wrong straight away for Larry. Larry's played a good safety. That is excellent. No chance of the jump shot. And he's going to struggle to find the angle off that right hand rail. He's going to have to put a bit of spin on this. And he's managed to pick it out. But he's left enough there for Larry to take the bait. Looks at odds on for a bank, this 2-ball. Can play the cut as well. Oh aye, this is well past my bedtime. And that cue ball needs to squirt out past the 9 or at least nudge into it. But he's actually locked himself out. And out with the jump stick. Well, Larry has rescued the situation again, but left himself a tough 5-ball to complete the recovery. Cue ball has to come out into the middle of the table for this 6-ball, but it's all about the 5. This is rack ball effectively. If he gets this, he should always overcut it by a big margin. And it's still about the 5-ball. Spectre Dawn has the toughie. And full concentration on the 5. Doesn't need to think about the cue ball. Cue ball's gone over to the right hand side. It's all about the 5. 5's well off the rail. He's got a fair margin of error here. It's all about just getting the pace and leaving the cue ball somewhere on the right hand side, not hampered by the 8, which he's managed to do. Now, this is calling out for a wee bit of inside left English just to check off the top rail, come back to the left. Could have done with coming up a wee bit more, but plenty of room for manoeuvre. Probably 2 rails if he wants. No, again, played it with inside to check it straight. Well, shouldn't be any mistakes in the 9-ball this time for Spectre Dawn. But this to get back to within 1. $7-3. Yeah, he's got that. He's got that safety cushion now. Well, Spectre Dawn comes up dry, but he's left Larry a shot. Now, how much room is there? Well, this has got to be the combo onto the 6, and this is not a gimme, because that is pretty much almost on the point of that knuckle there. 3-ball locked up with a 7, and the 2-ball's gone safe. And Larry is now again found the most awkward place. I think he's fouled the 7 there. I think that's ball in hand to Spectre Dawn. Yes, it is. That was really, really awkward. Queuing over that 8-ball. And so difficult to find that edge. And Spectre Dawn has been given his present and given his opportunity, and shouldn't have any reason whatsoever than to run out here. Well, he's got a choice what he does here. He's got enough angle to run through or just stun off the rail. So, tied again, 4 racks all, race to 9. Spectre Dawn, I think, has come up dry again. One ball looks blocked off to me with a 6. It most certainly is. But Larry, I think, is looking for the line for the combo. Hasn't got it. And hasn't got the one safe. Well, there's problems ahead here for Spectre Dawn, looking at where the 3 ball is. Yeah, the level that these guys play at, when you see them breaking a rack of balls, as you would with the real life professionals, if there's a ball goes in and you're on a shot and the balls are wide open, you're expected to run out. And what's more, the player himself is expecting to run out, and if he doesn't, there's problems. It has to be down to running out of shape. That's the only reason things go wrong like that. And meanwhile, Spectre Dawn looking for the safety, and he hasn't made a very good job of it. He's left Larry a shot, and another tough one. And even if Larry gets this and gets on the 4, the problem is finding that narrow margin to get on the 7. It's guarded by the 9 ball, but there is enough room there. Larry's looking at it. And where the cue ball is now is where he wants to be to play that 7. But where it is now is tight to make that edge on the 7 to pot it. So it's a really fine margin. Even there, when you look at that, it's tight to make the cut without fouling the 9. This is a problem here. And I think Larry might look at, well, he's now gone 2 straight and a 6. I think he's 2 straight. Yep, he's pretty much straight, and so he's going to try and draw up the table and run into that 9 and 7 and hope he gets lucky. Has he got the English on it? No, he hasn't. He didn't have any spin on it. He needed the reverse English. Now, with that shot there, when he drew back, if he had the reverse English on it, well, I think it was at that angle, he could have spun it in, but he's managed to get on the 7. I think he tried to break that out there, but it worked out for him. He found pretty much the only position you could get to make the potting angle in the 7. And he's managed somehow to find a way out, and that was a job well done. I always had my doubts about the position of that 7 close to the 9, but Larry's managed to land on it. And he's got himself back into the lead. 2 ball goes in, bottom right. Oh, well, that 6 ball's caused a bit of a problem. It's not quite in the pocket. And, well, Larry can play the 1 onto it, but he has to sort of play the 1 ball dead straight as it is. The line that it's on right now, if it runs, he's going to try and billiard. Well, maybe that went wrong as well. I don't know what Larry played there. Whether he played to billiard the 6 or try and play the safety. If it's the safety, well, he's partially got it, but that 1 will go past the 8. So it was a sort of puzzling shot that Larry played there. I think he might have played the billiard onto the 6 and didn't connect with it at all. And, well, Spectre Dawn may well be back on level terms in a second or two. Well, he's going to have to get a bit cute with this 4 ball. He's way too high on it. And he's run into the 5, and, well, he's got lucky. That could have went badly wrong, but it's worked out perfect. Oh, I'm beginning to yawn now. The old tiredness is setting in. I need a cup of coffee. I'm choking for a cup of coffee here. I need that caffeine hit. Now, who the hell's Richard Mooncake when he's at home? When somebody strange that I've never heard of sends me a friend request, the first thing I'm going to do with it is delete it. If they don't explain who they are. That's the first thing I do. I just delete them. Straight into the bin it goes. My mother always told me never to talk to strangers. No, I don't know who you are. That's what I'm just got past telling you. I don't know who the hell you are. Well, that's the first thing that crossed my mind. But as I say, I've seen a name that I don't recognise. There was no message to say, hello, it's so-and-so from so-and-so, and I would know who you are. All you get is a friend request. Straight into the bin. Well, I've seen the name in the VP4 lobby, if that's any consolation, yep. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn is looking to take himself into the lead here. It looks all too easy to get on this 9 ball. And again, he's leaving himself high cuts. He's in bedhead territory here, folks. This is bedhead territory. Big high cuts. And so easy to go wrong. Should get this in 9 times out of 10, mind you, and he has done. But more important, he's found himself a way to get into the lead. And he now leads by 6 racks to 5. So I'll say that again, 6 racks to 5. I think that the tongue part of my brain is now seizing up as well. So Larry with no shot plays the push out. Now, I'll tell you this, he could have played that better because he's still left a thin cup for Spectre Dawn. This is like putting bait out. And Spectre Dawn, I think, will accept the bait, but he's going to have to get lucky to have any semblance of a shot in the 2 because that's locked up with the 8. He might just give this a bash. Well, no, he's decided to pass it. He's giving it back to Larry. Well, Larry might... is he going to try and play this dead weight to roll behind the 6? Oh, he's went all out for the bank. Well, that's got himself out of trouble. But he's going to have to pull off another one. And this is an extremely delicate 2-8 combo into the right middle. And he sent it to the knuckle. And that was maybe asking a bit too much there. Spectre Dawn has got nothing easy. This is pretty ugly. Now, once again, he could... Now, can he? He could actually play the roll through and hook Larry behind the 9, but he's not interested. He's gone all out for the pot, and he's missed the pot. But he could have hooked Larry, and he has done. But by default, he's managed to do it. And Larry tried to jump escape. Maybe had a bit of spin in the cue ball there, but it's come back around the corner and it's in the open. And Spectre Dawn, well, he's potted the 2. He's managed to find the path past the 9 ball. Well, the problem ball, if it's a problem, is going to be the 8 ball. But where the 7 ball is, you've got to get as straight as you can on this 7. And Spectre Dawn has got to be gentle with this 6 ball. He wants to just leave that 7 ball a roll down the rail, and then he can take the cue ball right into the rail and roll the 8 down the rail. That's the plan. And now, just a kill shot. Just kill that cue ball right where the 8 ball is. And now, Spectre Dawn should have his 2-rack gap. Well, now it's up to Larry. He's going to have to wait. Spectre Dawn breaking off. Leading 7 racks to 5. And he's got 3 balls in the break. The 2, the 7 and 8 have gone. And he's got an extremely thin edge of this 1 ball, which he's got. I don't think he's going to have a shot in the 3. Well, he can try the stun billiard onto the 4. And relying on a bit of luck to have a shot in the 3. And it's going to be an awkward one into the middle pocket. But he's at the right end here just to leave himself enough room to have a shot in the 5. And that is perfect. Well, these last couple of racks, Larry's not been given much of an opportunity. Spectre Dawn has been taking the chances, and that's what's now given him a 3-rack lead, and only needing 1 more for revenge on Larry. And he's got a ball in the break, but I don't think he's going to have much of a shot on this 1 ball. Let's look at it from this end. Well, it looks a good bank to me. It banks every day of the week, this 1 ball. In prime position. And in it goes. Well, I would have maybe made a bit of a more effort to get the cue ball out than where he's left it, but he's got the cut on the 2 onto the 6 with a fair margin of error, and the pace that he's played it at has kept the 2 ball fairly adjacent to the middle pocket, and again nothing to do other than pot the 2 with a gentle pace and just make sure there's enough on it to get the 2 into the hole, because the 3 balls hanging over the left middle, well, he's played it with a bit of pace. It can go wrong, and it has done. He's going to have to jump stick this. Or is he going to try and drop it in? Yeah, he's trying to drop it in, which he has done. And now he's left himself in even more bother. Oh, this is tough. Well, this is a thin one, but effectively match ball if he gets it. He's got to be on the 7, unless he has to pot it thin enough where he can come across and possibly scratch, but well, surely he can see enough of it. Yes, he can. Well, he's not convinced that he can get past the 8 ball, and maybe he can't to make the potting angle. Oh dear. Well, it just needed another breath of pace for that 5 to drop. Now Larry can get around the 8 here. He needs to be careful, because these are easy to run around the angles and miss the 5 completely. But this to survive in the final. And somehow Spectre Dawn found a way to get himself in trouble. He had the match in his hands, and Larry has a chance to stay in the match if he can take care of these last 3 balls. It's all about getting on the 8. Well, that's about as straight as you'll probably get it. Oh dear, Larry, what the hell are you doing? He's done it again. I mean, well, if anything, you overhit that so that you can run through and come up the table. He's found the worst possible place to land in the 9 ball. I mean, he's been doing this, and I don't know how many shots he's found a way to get himself in trouble, and now he's going to have to dig out a cut that you don't want to be playing to stay in the match. Down the right rail, and that's into the rail too soon, and it's sayonara, Larry. You've ran out a lot just once too often there, and so Spectre Dawn has been given a gift, and he wins this week's Friday night 9 ball by 9 racks to 5. Well, chaps, that is it for I don't know how long. It's all down to the guys who are in this Masters tournament, this 9 ball tournament. If they set their matches at a time that I can fit them in, then I'll get them, and if they don't, then well, that's fine. It's all to suit them. I'll be back at work on Monday, as I say, from then on, and for the foreseeable future I'll be up at 3:30 AM. I don't know when the next Friday night 9 ball will be. If Tin set it to 7 o'clock, that would suit me better, but they won't change it for the time zones. It'll stay the way it is until GMT comes back later on in the year. So until whenever we meet again, take care, guys. Be careful. Keep your distance and keep yourself safe, and God help us all that we get through this shit at some point. And good luck to the scientists and all of them that are working in this thing. and here's hoping they work something out. They will do, but it's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. It's going to be months away probably, and then it's got to go through the testing phase and whatever. So until then, we just have to look out for ourselves. And I hope you take care. I hope we'll all be back here at some point when this is all over. So until then, guys, I'm going to wish you good night. I'm off for a coffee, and I will see you again soon. But thanks for your company. Thanks for them that watched in, looked in, and we'll see you again soon.